Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I know I've been MIA for a little bit, but I'm trying to get back on my groove because I don't like when my YouTube numbers are going down. In today's video, I want to talk to you guys about how I was able to score my internship or score my new job after school, because I've been getting some questions about that and I was just like, okay, it will make more sense for me to just put everything into a video and then kind of tell you guys what I do as well and how I was able to use my previous experiences to get me to where I am today, and also how you can do that even if you don't have any experience per se, because I think it would be very selfish of me to keep certain things to myself, because I'm trying to also put out as much knowledge and information as I'm gaining them. And although I feel like it's still early for me to make this video because I'm only like 1 month into the job and I'm kind of still on probation, but I think it would still be a really good resource for people who might be graduating soon or people who are planning to leave their country, especially because my audience is Nigerian. If you're planning to leave Nigeria to go abroad to study and stuff like that, this can also guide you, if that makes sense. But before we get into it, please give this video a thumbs up. Please also subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So my first point, I think it goes without saying, applying online. But there are several things that you need to do before you even consider applying online, right? Job applications, trust me, I know that they can be very, very draining because I started job hunting since like maybe September, October 2024 to make sure that I got a job right after graduating in May 2025. Does that make sense? So at least 6 months of job hunting is what I was doing. Before you apply online, obviously you need to create a LinkedIn account or an Indeed account. If you live in Nigeria, I think there's Jobberman in Nigeria, so there might be other platforms depending on which country that you live in that most recruiters like to recruit from. So make sure that you create an account before you apply online, and then have a professional front for your profile. So for your LinkedIn, you don't want to have like a selfie with Snapchat filters as your picture. Do you understand? Because these are professional social media platforms, right? Or should I say job hunting platforms? And job hunting is still fairly considered as corporate. So you need to have a very professional front, and these are things that you can do easily. Like if you have access to the internet, you can ask ChatGPT to create a profile for you or something like that, and then you can tweak it to your own liking and you use it to fill in the blanks for all those profiles that you've created. Okay, if you don't have professional headshots, you can just ask somebody to take nice pictures of you in a corporate outfit behind a white background or something, and then you use that picture. Do you understand? You just need to, you can smile, like there's nothing wrong with smiling, it's not a passport. But these are the tiny things that you can do as a first step before you now start, applying. The second thing I would advise people to do is to go for job fairs. So the job that I have right now as a marketing intern, because I work in marketing in a construction and engineering and science company. When I used to tell people that I studied English back in school, they'd be like, oh, what would you use your degree to do? Nobody is going to give you a job. You're going to end up as a teacher, as if teachers are not essential for the development of society. But that's neither here nor there. But I used to get those comments a lot, and I would try to educate people and say, hey, like the degree that I have is priceless, because every company needs somebody who can market them, somebody who can talk to the public about them, somebody who can connect the dots between what the company does and what the company's audience wants. So that's essentially what I do, and I studied technical communication. Right off the bat, most people may not understand what technical communication is, because they're just like, oh, I understand communication, but what makes it technical? And that technical part is just you learning how to write for different audiences. So for instance, I've never worked in engineering and construction before. All I know is, the maybe building apps and stuff like that, like building products, tech products, if you will. That's all I know, and this is my first introduction to construction and engineering. But because of my knowledge from school and because of what I know that the company expects of me, I can apply that to any field, and it might just take a little bit of adjusting, and that's what I've been doing. So when I went for job fairs, the job fairs I went for were the ones in my school. We usually have these things called career fairs, and if you go for a career fair, you see lots and lots and lots of employers looking for who to hire, and sometimes they will even print out on their stand the kind of majors that they're looking to hire. When I say major, I mean like programs or courses. In Nigeria we say programs or courses. Here we say major in America. So if I use those terms interchangeably, just understand that that's what I mean. So they have a list of the majors that they're looking for, and the school will give you, most of the time, like, this was my school anyway, but I think that this is something the school should do. They should be able to give you a list of all the employers that are going to be there, the people who are looking for people from your major and stuff like that. So you can tailor all of that to which particular companies you're going to walk up to, because at these job fairs, you have to actually walk up to them. They're not going to walk up to you, because they all have their booths, they have their stands there at the career fair. So they're not going to walk up to you. You have to walk up to them, you have to pitch yourself to them, and you need to know how to be able to communicate with them, because that is you selling yourself on the spot. Now, if you go to a job fair that is outside the confines of your school or something like that, maybe it's a professional job fair thing that maybe you have to pay some money to get into. I really don't know how that works, but I know that there are job fairs that exist outside of schools. If you're going to do that, then you still also need to pitch yourself or to sell yourself on the spot. And when I say pitch yourself or sell yourself, it just means like, tell them what you do. Oh, hi, my name is Chilotam. My major is such and such. I am a technical communicator. I do this, I do that. Like, you need to have, it's like having a brand pitch, right? A power pitch that's just like, okay, this is me, this is what I do, this is what I can do for your company. And then you ask them questions in return and say, okay, so what does such and such company do? How do you think, and you can even introduce ways that you can contribute value to their company, because that's when they are going to get a glimpse of your personality. Something that I've noticed is that employers don't only hire based on skill, they also hire based on personality. So if you want to increase your chances of getting something good, your personality also needs to, like, you know, be at the forefront of what you're doing. Because as somebody who is in the humanities, right, and this is not a dig at any other group of or any other field of study that's not the humanities, but as somebody in the humanities, one thing I've noticed is that people in the sciences focus so much on their skill. Oh, I know how to code, I know how to do this, I know how to be a front-end developer, all that stuff. And that's great, like, that's amazing. But remember that you're going to be working with people, and people want to see what your attitude. So just keep that at the front of your mind if you're going to go for job fairs. Obviously, it goes without saying that you have to dress professionally as well, because that's also when they are going to see you. Okay, if you dress shabbily, they're going to be like, are we going to start teaching you how to dress as well? Because corporate is very, very cutthroat, and it's very like, you know, people, you need to learn quickly, and it's not just about learning what to do on the job. It's more about learning how to immerse yourself in that world of corporateness, if that's a word. Go for as many job fairs as you can. The job I have right now, I got it from a career fair in my school, and I remember the first 2 times, was it 2 times? How many times did I go? The first couple of times I went for the career fair, I didn't really get anything, and my first internship, I got it on Indeed. So it wasn't really successful for me, but I kept going. And again, I understand that these things are not easy, and what works for one person is not necessarily what's going to work for another person. But I'm putting this video out as a form of encouragement as well, because if I can do it, if somebody can do it, then that means that it is possible. My third point is that you need to use extra skills to sell yourself, and I'm going to use myself as an example here. So during my interview, the interviewers asked me a couple of questions, you know, like, can we get to know you? When they ask you that question, I I don't know, I don't really like getting into the confines of how to answer interview questions, but think of interviews like you just having a regular conversation with somebody. It's just like if you go for a party, and I know an interview is not necessarily a party, but if you go for a party or a social event, you are going to meet people there and they're going to be like, oh, my name is Chilotam. Oh, what do you do? Oh, I do such and such and such. I work in this industry. Does that make sense? But you need to approach interviews with that mindset. I'm saying this because I know that a lot of people tend to freeze and they're very like shy and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe it's because in real life I'm actually shy. In real life I don't really talk much to people unless I know them personally. But maybe it's because I've been doing YouTube for a while, so speaking is not really an issue for me when I meet like if I need to. Does that make sense? Like in an interview, of course I need the job, so I'm going to get out of my comfort zone and talk, but that's besides the point. If you're a shy person, please try to get out of your comfort zone, because you have goals and that shyness is not going to help you to achieve your goals. So yeah, using extra skills to sell yourself. When they were interviewing me, they were trying to probe me and ask me about my skills and what I know how to do. And I was very desperate because I'd been getting a ton of rejections. And usually I don't like to bring up my YouTube to potential employers. I don't even bring up my YouTube to people who I meet for the first time in real life. Maybe they could go on social media and check and see, but I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel, because I'm very shy with it, if you know what I mean. So I certainly do not want to do that with my employers, but I had to put all my cards on the table at this point, because this was like the last shot that I had. And I said, oh, I'm also skilled with graphic design because I design all my thumbnails by myself. I edit all my videos by myself. And they were like, oh, can you send us a sample? And then I sent them some of my favorite videos that I had done in an email. Immediately after that interview, I sent it in an email and I was like, oh, hey, this is what I can do. I also, okay, we'll get into portfolio, but I used my YouTube skills, because this is a skill that I actually gained from YouTube, like knowing how to do thumbnail design. And I'm not very perfect, like I'm not professional or anything, but I know what looks good, and I have an eye for design, if that makes sense. And also coupled with my degree, because in school I also learned about what's this class we took? We took advanced layout and design in school, so I also learned about that. So now my eye for design is very sharp, and I can tell what should go where and what should not go where. For YouTube, it's more playful, right? It's not very professional and all that. Like, you can still play around YouTube. It doesn't need to look perfect because it's YouTube, but I do have that skill and I use that to sell myself. So if you have any skills, even if you're working in the church, and this is a sidebar, one of the best places to upskill is in the church, because even if maybe they might not pay you for it, but you're doing this stuff like you're learning for free. You don't need to pay online courses and stuff like that, because you're learning, like you're doing the practical things on the job, right? So let's say you're not looking for the regular 9-to-5 corporate and all that. Maybe you want to be in a band or something. You can say, oh yeah, I learned how to play the keyboard and how to play the drums from my church or from my local whatever. Those immediate skills that you're learning in your life, the things that you think are just, oh, I just do this for fun, use that to sell yourself, okay? Especially if people see that you have a track record. So for instance, for me, I want to get into journalism and media sometime in my life, and maybe be on TV, stuff like that, because I think I have the personality for it. The only issue I'm not sure if I'll be able to overcome is, you know, the whole accent barrier, because I live in America and my accent is people tell me my accent is very strong. I don't see what they say, but you know, you live among strangers, they tell you things about yourself that you don't really know. So that's neither here nor there. But yeah, if I want to get into TV and journalism and media and all that stuff, I can tell them, see, I've been creating YouTube videos since 2021, and I definitely have the confidence to be on camera. Like, I can talk on camera. So, you know, use your immediate skills. When I say immediate skills, I mean things that you just do, things that just come naturally to you. Use that to sell yourself. Okay, if you want to put that in your resume or whatever, put it in there. Okay, don't leave anything out. My next point is to create a portfolio and add all your works and all your experiences there. I'm going to link my portfolio for you guys in the description box so that you can see how it is and what to do. If you want to use that as a model or as inspiration for your own, that's fine. I think that there are several hosting platforms that will help you to create a portfolio of your own, but I used Webflow. I don't really know how to I didn't really know how to do it, honestly, because someone actually did the bulk of the work for me. But sometime this year, I went in there and I changed up some things because I needed to submit my portfolio as one of my assignments in school. So I had to go there, add new stuff, add new experiences, even link my YouTube channel, put the videos there so people can see, stuff like that. So you need to create a portfolio. Apparently, employers don't even spend up to 3 minutes looking through your resume. They just skim through it, because they have a lot of things to go through. Sometimes they don't even do that. Maybe they use AI to scan for what they're looking for. Create a portfolio, very, 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 very important. No matter how basic it is, like do it and let that portfolio help you to stand out. Now, I'll give you some examples. Let me see, do I have, okay. This is going to link into my next point as well. So let's say you don't have a lot of experience, right? You're new to the job market, you're looking for entry-level roles and you're really trying to, get it out of the mud where nothing is working out. One thing I would suggest that you do, and this is why I always tell people, if you follow me on Twitter, I always tell people, take academics very, very seriously. All those things you did in school, especially if you're looking for a job that is in line with your degree, use all those, your assignments, your tests, your papers that you wrote, put that in your resume or put that in your portfolio. Let people or let employers know that this is what I can actually do. This is an unpopular opinion, right? But that's why it's important to go through school without necessarily incorporating AI into everything you're doing. Don't let ChatGPT or Google Gemini, all those things, write your papers for you, because that's taking away from the brain power that you're supposed to use to do things on your own. Do you understand? It's more than just, because you find out later in life that these things are also life skills. So it's one thing if maybe you need quick sources, or maybe let me not say sources, maybe you need a sketch or something, or maybe you need an outline for something you want to write, or maybe you're trying to format a referencing thing into APA style or MLA or Chicago. Do you understand? Those are tiny ways that I would say I can encourage people to use AI, right? But for actually writing your papers, don't do that. Like, actually put it upon yourself to do the work. And I know it's easier said than done, because a lot of people are struggling and people are doing so many things, but you find out that you need those skills much later. So if you don't have a lot of experience, cook something up. Okay, maybe you were helping your mom in her shop in Nigeria, or maybe you were posting on Twitter, oh, you guys, my mom is doing this, come and buy from her. That's kind of a skill you can put down as, let's say, maybe a sales manager or a social media, I don't know what to call it, but there are ways that you can tweak these things, and this is where AI also comes in, right? You can just say, hey, ChatGPT, use this experience and put it in a much more professional way for a resume or for a portfolio. When it comes to AI, you need to be very specific with the prompt. You can give it several details and then it will merge everything into a professional thing that you can use. Do you understand? So these are ways that you can fill in those blanks. I can't stress selling yourself enough, because you need to learn how to sell yourself. They say, oh, you don't have practical experience. Oh, but I have theoretical experience, and I'm pretty sure that there are several ways that I can apply this to within the job, and I just need you to take a chance on me. Do you understand what I mean? So these are the things that you need to do, because it's a do or die affair, and I know that this job market is not funny right now. So you need to step up your A game if you haven't been bringing your A game. And again, this is not to discourage, or this is not to say that people who have been doing all of this are not doing enough. I'm just putting all this information because some people may not know that they need to do one or two things, and they kind of need some extra resources for that. My next point is to use the job descriptions of the jobs that you're applying to. And maybe I should have said this in my first point, but I wanted to get out the basics. Wanted to get the basics out the way before going into every other thing. So when you're applying to jobs online on, let's say, LinkedIn or on Indeed, there are certain things you need to look out for. So if they are looking for, let's say, a senior user experience writer, I have experience in user experience writing, right? But I'm not just going to use my generic resume or my generic CV. I'm going to look at the job description, copy that job description, paste it, and this is where you need to work smart and not hard. Paste it into an AI platform or a ChatGPT and attach my resume also and say, this is my resume linked to this, da, 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 da. This is a job description for a job I'm currently applying for. Match my experiences with the job description or tailor my experiences to the job description for this job. And then when it brings out all the information you need, then you use that to apply for that job. Because nowadays, especially if you are abroad, right? If you're living in not Nigeria, or if you're living in the UK, if you're living in America, Canada, all of that, when you're applying for jobs, a lot of times HR is not skimming through your resume manually. They're using AI to do it. So AI will flag some of the words that they have put in that job description, right? And then match the words with what they need. And that's how they scan through people's resumes from what I've heard, right? So you need to make sure that you tailor your experience to the job description, and that's going to help you get better results, hopefully. Last thing on my list is to trust the process. And I have to say this because I know people who have been job hunting for a year and they finally got something, and I'm just using that, or I'm also using myself as a form of encouragement. If you have been doing this and maybe you've been getting a ton of rejections, each rejection gets you, like, okay, how should I say this? Each rejection is a closer step to what you're looking for, and eventually you're going to get there if you just trust the process and if you also network. So don't underestimate the power of networking. When you see people, talk to them, and not networking just because like you're trying to get something out of them, but in life in general, you need to network, because as you get older, you need to know people to do stuff. You need to also give people value in their lives. As they're networking with you, you're networking with them, back and forth. Some people also say that you need to use LinkedIn and post often on LinkedIn and all that. Personally, I think it's a good idea, but I'm not going to preach that to you because I don't do it. I'm not someone who posts a lot on LinkedIn. In fact, my only recent activity on LinkedIn is just reposting stuff from other people, maybe from my current employer. So I can't tell you to do what I'm not currently doing, but some people say that it works for them. So if it works for them, then it should work for you as well. Okay, so we've finally come to the end of the video. If there's anything that I missed out, please let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments as well. I tried to cover as many things as I could because I try not to make these videos too long, but at the same time I want to get so much of that information out. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to also subscribe and share this video, okay? A lot of people need this information, and that's why I'm putting it out there. So make sure you share it. Don't be selfish. Thank you. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.